Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're a parent, you have probably found yourself wondering about the choice between Montessori and daycare. On the outside, they can look pretty similar, right? But trust me, they are built on completely different ideas about what our kids need. Today, we're going to break down exactly what sets them apart. So, let's get right into it.
So what is the real difference here? I mean, on the surface, they're both places for your child to go while you're at work, but when you dig just a little deeper, you find they operate on completely different philosophies, different ideas about who a child is, how they learn, and what they really truly need to thrive.
To really get to the heart of this, we're going to break it down into 5 key sections. We'll start with the core philosophy, the big idea behind each one. Then we'll look at the physical space and the teachers. We'll explore what a child actually does all day, understand how they grow on the inside, and finally, we'll take a look at the long-term goals of each approach.
Okay, first up, a tale of two philosophies. Before we even get into the toys or the schedules or any of that, it is absolutely crucial to understand that these two models start from completely different places. Their entire purpose is built on a different foundation.
And here it is, the most important distinction of all. A daycare's main job is childcare. It's designed to be a safe, supervised place for your kid. Simple as that. A Montessori school, on the other hand, weaves education and development right into the care. It isn't just supervision. It is a purposeful learning environment from the moment they walk in the door.
So, what does a care-based focus really look like in practice? Well, it means the top priorities are, quite rightly, centered on the essentials: keeping children safe, making sure they're fed, supervising their playtime, and just sticking to some basic daily routines. And these are all, without a doubt, incredibly important.
But then you have the Montessori focus, which takes that and expands on it. The goal here is to actively nurture a child's emotional and brain development. It's about building real, practical life skills, fostering this incredible ability to concentrate, encouraging independence, and laying the groundwork for future academic success, all starting when they're super young.
All right, let's move on to our second section, the environment and the guide. This is all about the tangible stuff, the physical space and the adults in it. What does your child see and feel, and who are they interacting with every single day? This stuff matters.
You can usually feel the difference the second you walk in the door. A typical daycare can be a sensory explosion. Lots of noise, tons of color. A Montessori classroom, though, is intentionally designed to be calm and structured, which really supports the brain's natural need for order.
I want you to just picture it. You walk into a typical daycare room. You'll probably see toys just everywhere. Bright, maybe even overstimulating colors, cartoons on the walls, and just this general hum of loud, energetic, and sometimes kind of chaotic activity. The focus is really on keeping kids busy and entertained.
Okay, now let's flip that. Picture walking into a Montessori classroom. It's a complete 180. The colors are soft, they're natural. The materials are often made of wood and are all neatly arranged on these low, accessible shelves. You'll probably see plants, furniture that's actually child-sized, and children moving around peacefully, often just deeply focused on whatever they've chosen to do. It's an environment built for concentration, not distraction.
And it's not just the room, it's the adults. Daycare staff are, of course, trained in the essentials of childcare and safety regulations, but Montessori teachers, who are often called guides, they go through this extensive, specialized training in child development, neuroscience, and the very specific Montessori method. They're there to guide development, not just to supervise play. This brings us to a really cool idea in Section 3, the work of the child. See, in Montessori, play is the child's work. It's seen as this incredibly important, purposeful activity. So what kind of tools do they use for this important work?
And here's where we see another huge split, the difference between toys and materials. In a daycare, you'll mostly find toys, things meant for general play and entertainment. In a Montessori classroom, children work with what are called materials. These are tools that have been scientifically designed to teach a very specific skill or concept. So for example, the famous ping tower. It's not just for stacking blocks. It's actually teaching the brain to visually discriminate size, which is a pre-math skill. Or the sandpaper letters, which use the sense of touch to connect the shape of a letter to its sound. It's this incredible foundation for reading. Every material has a purpose, and it builds skills one by one.
And how a child engages with these materials is also totally different. A daycare usually runs on a group schedule, right? Everybody naps at the same time, eats at the same time, does art at the same time. Montessori, on the other hand, is highly individualized. Kids get these long, uninterrupted work periods where they can choose what they want to work on and learn completely at their own pace.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, nurturing internal growth. This is where we go beyond academics. We're talking about developing a child's character, their independence, their confidence, their emotional intelligence, the deep down stuff. Montessori systematically builds independence through these real-life activities. A toddler learns to pour their own water, a preschooler learns to put on their own coat and clean up a spill. Now, this isn't just about making things easier for the adults. Every single one of these steps builds confidence, responsibility, and that powerful inner voice that says, I can do it myself.
And this internal focus totally changes the approach to behavior. Daycares often manage behavior from the outside in, using tools like timeouts or reward charts. The Montessori approach is fundamentally different. The goal is to teach emotional regulation from the inside out, guiding children to understand their feelings and learn how to resolve conflicts peacefully.
I love this quote because it just sums it all up perfectly. Montessori grows internal discipline, not compliance. Ultimately, the goal isn't just to get kids to obey. It's about helping them develop their own internal compass to manage their emotions and actions with respect. And that's a skill that will serve them for their entire life.
So, let's pull all of this together in our final section, the long-term view. When you really zoom out, what is the ultimate goal here? What's the final outcome that each of these philosophies is working toward? So, to boil it all down, the main goal of daycare is meeting a child's daily needs, keeping them safe, fed, and supervised. It's essential short-term care so that parents can work. The goal of Montessori is an investment in your child's future, building those lifelong skills like confidence and concentration. So while both are incredibly valuable, one outcome is a child who is well cared for, while the other is a child who is developing as a whole human being.
So as you make your choice, the question really goes beyond just logistics or location. It's about choosing a philosophy that really aligns with your vision for your child's future. Are you looking for excellent care for today, or are you looking for an educational foundation that will shape how your child learns, thinks, and interacts with the world for the rest of their life? Answering that question will help you find the absolute right path for your family.